Hello! Thank you for watching this quick video. It should help you out with some of your volunteer data obligations and responsibilities. We're going to show you how to report your classroom or tutoring hours as a volunteer, so the time that you're spending, and also how to report student attendance for classes or tutoring. And if you are tutoring, there are some extra questions on there for like reporting student progress and things like that. All of this information lives on one link, and we're going to show you what it looks like and what to click on and how to answer these questions. So this video should cover you. I should start though by saying that if you haven't met me before, my name is Lizzie. I may be familiar from the info sessions, I do those. I'm a program manager for the adult programs department. I'm also joined by Edie, and I'm doing this because she's next to me on Zoom, but that might not make sense in the video.
Hi, everybody. I'm Edie. I'm the program director for the adult programs here.
Awesome. And she's going to help me out because I have not personally done any one-to-one tutoring, so she will have much better guidance for you about how to fill out that part of the form. But we're going to start with what you will see at your volunteer reporting link. This is just a link. It's a long URL. You'll get it in an email from us. We can resend you this link whenever you need it, so like don't hesitate to ask if you lose it. But I will say it's always the same link. Like this is your page as a Literacy Connects volunteer. So if you're someone who like saves emails or bookmarks things in your internet browser, you can bookmark this and like it will always be the same. It will always work. But it's a URL we will send to you, and when you open that URL, you will see something that looks a little bit like this. I'm using Edie's as an example here. So on the link, you'll see any class that you are assigned to as a volunteer on this little home page. It'll also have like the schedule information, start dates, end dates, times. You can see how many students are signed up to be in your class or tutoring with you, if there are people on the wait list. So this home page is just anything that like you have been assigned to as a teacher or as a tutor. For any one of those classes, you could click on View Enrollments to just see a list of the students. I'm Edie's example student for this tutoring. In a class, this would be a longer list of names. You might see like 10 people here, and it's where you also have the student's contact information. So if you're trying to send out an email to your class, or if you need to call your tutoree to schedule your next meeting, you can get contact info here. If there were people on the wait list, you could see their names as well. If people had been invited to join but hadn't said yes yet, etc. And this little back button will take you back. So again, that view enrollments, that's just where you can see a list of students and their contact info if you need it. For reporting, all of that's going to live underneath view meetings. So I'll click on view meetings for a class just so you can see that for a class with multiple meeting dates, there is a line for every single class meeting. So you're reporting attendance, you're reporting hours for each day that class meets. So to report your hours specifically for January 16th, you do that here. To report attendance specifically for January 16th, you do that here. I'm not going to click on these though, because I don't want to edit out student names. But just so you know, in a class, you'll see an entry for every single class meeting. I'm going to use the tutoring as the example though, because then we don't have to edit it. So again, you hit view meetings, and this is where you report data. So you'll have two buttons here. One is to update student attendance, and one is to update tutor hours. I'll show you the hours first. So this is your time as a volunteer. So thinking about that one class meeting, you'll be asked to tell us any time you spent doing prep. So maybe that's lesson planning, maybe that's a little bit of like organizing you had to do with your tutoree to find the meeting time, any of your volunteer time that was getting ready for class. You'll have travel time. So if you're volunteering on Zoom, this is likely 0. But if you're driving to a library or coming to the Literacy Connects campus, how much time did you spend on travel? And then the actual class time. So for most of our classes, this is going to be an hour and a half. If you're reporting tutoring for a whole month, which is what this example is, it's volunteer hours for the month of March for a tutor, that's going to be a much higher amount of time probably. However many hours in a month-ish you spent tutoring with a student. But you'll put everything in here. This is your hours record. It's about you as a volunteer. So this little comment box should be anything you want us to know in general. So it's not really comments about students, it's comments about you, anything that you need us to know. You could put a comment here and we'll see that as well. When everything is filled out, you'll hit the save button here and you'll get a little sort of confirmation that everything was saved. And then you can go back. So that's reporting your hour as a volunteer. For a classroom teacher, you would do this for every single meeting. For a one-to-one tutor, you would do this once a month. The other button here is your attendance for students. Again, in a classroom with multiple students in it, this would be a longer list of names. But for each student, you'll put in their attendance. So how long were they in class? Again, a typical class is going to be an hour and a half. And then there's a comment box here. And this comment box is where you could tell us something specifically about that student. So maybe this student was not here, but they did text you. So you could leave a little comment that like they were sick. Or maybe this student was here, but they let you know that today is her last day, her work schedule. Oh, can I type? Schedule changed. So anything we might need to know about that student's attendance, you can put a little comment here. Absolutely nothing bad happens if the box is blank. I'm not telling you you need to write a comment for every single student on your attendance. Just if there is anything that you think folks in the office should know, that's where you can quickly let us know on the students' comments. So for all of our volunteers, whether you are teaching a class or one-to-one tutoring, you need to do duration hours and if it's relevant, comments for all of your students. But if you're a classroom teacher, that's it. After you do duration of hours and comments, you are done and you can hit save. All the rest of these boxes are for our one-to-one tutors who are only reporting once a month. So if you're a classroom teacher and you are not one-to-one tutoring, that's everything you needed out of this video, and you're good. Just remember to hit save when you're done putting in your information, and please do this ASAP after every class so that we have that data up to date. But now I am going to turn the microphone over to Edie so she can tell us more about the one-to-one information.
Great. Thanks, Lizzie.
Mhm.
So for one-to-ones, again, this is the same link. If you're doing a class and a one-to-one, it's one link. You'll see everything listed there. And then this is where Lizzie had clicked on the one-to-one where she and I are one-to-one tutoring together. And we have view meetings right there. And you can see that there's just one box per month. So just like with the old tutor log, you are just submitting for the entire month, all the meetings that you did cumulatively for the entire month. So for that first one on the March one, update attendance, and then you go in and you would put in duration or hours. How many hours did the student attend your one-to-one tutoring this whole month? So it's probably going to be something more like 6 or 5 or something like that, depending how many times a week you meet and if there were absences or not. Again, comments, you can put any sort of comment there that we should know about you and the student, how it's going, that kind of thing. But there's more specific ones just to the right here. So the first one, what did you cover or focus on with your student? This should be a fairly similar question to the old log. What did you work on this month? What were the topics that you worked on, or what were the skills or the strategies that you worked on? What did you do together this month? The next one over is the really fun one. What successes or stories can you share with us about what your student is doing now that maybe they couldn't do a month ago? Maybe they finished their first book ever and you want to put that on there. Maybe they were able to pick out a free book in our free book area and they took it home and they read it to their grandchild. That's cool. What are those successes? What are those stories? And all the little stuff counts along the way. It doesn't have to be got a GED. Obviously, it can be, was able to pick out their own book and took it home and read the first chapter. Hallelujah. That'd be great. The next one is, are there any challenges or needs that have emerged? This is not only a spot where you can talk about any sort of new challenges that you've run into in terms of your student and their work, their strategies, but also yourself. Like this can be your cry for help place. Um, I got stuck this month and I don't know how to get unstuck. I discovered this situation and I need to, I like that you can add emojis. That always makes things better. Um, Maybe you need more materials. Maybe you need some mentoring with another one-on-one tutor. Maybe you need um, a continuing ed session on miscues or something like that. Whatever it is that you feel like, okay, I need a little bit more here. This is your spot to put it down. And it could be also about your student, you know, because that can also help to guide us. We do see these and we can respond to them as well. And then the next two are actually for a different role. They're more for our workforce career coaches in terms of what the student has agreed to do next and what you've agreed to do to support them. However, if they seem relevant, if there's something that you guys have talked about and that you're planning to do, go ahead and write it in there. It's just these two are optional. The next one, however, is not optional. This is another one that should seem familiar from the old log as well, if you've used that. This section called accomplishments. And this is a long list. So you can see there's a scroll bar there. You can scroll down. And you can choose as many of these as are true for this month. So if you've noticed an improvement in your students' self-esteem, you would select that one. And then let's do another one because you went really fast there. Let's say they made educational progress, like there's a new strategy that they're really good at. Highlight that, click on the right arrow so that it goes over into the chosen box, and that one is now selected. And that's all you got to do. So you can go back through, you can read over what you read, what you wrote there, um, select more things if you wish, and then always, always, always remember to hit save. And you should get a little affirmation both at the top and in the gray box. Now it says saved. And then use the back button, the blue one right here, instead of your browser back button. This also does help the system sort of, it triggers it to save. So I think,
Yeah, I think that's it. That's everything.
all right.
And you can even see that now this is updated to say, yeah, one student attended.
Which would be great for a one-on-one match.
Yeah, that's perfect
Full
attendance.
attendance.
So the idea here with your volunteer reporting link, any classes you're doing, any tutoring you're doing, it's meant to be your like one-stop shop to report information to us. Not just the literal numbers, not just like hours, but also with those comment boxes. We see those, so if there's any kind of a note or an update or a heads up that you want to give us, filling out those comment boxes is one way that you can do that at the same time that you're reporting rather than needing to like report your data and then also send us an email. So we do keep an eye on those and we see them throughout the weeks. I'm gonna stop screen sharing so that you can see us better before we go. I hope this video was helpful. Please don't hesitate to follow up with questions if there's other things that you're still wondering about. But hopefully that gives you a nice overview. And I think like with any like website or app these days, just doing it a couple of times is also a big part, I think, of the learning process. So give it a go your first week or your first month of volunteering, and then let us know if you found anything confusing to fill out. I think I'll leave it there. Thank you so much.
Thanks.